Hi, my name is Zoe. I am the Tipsy Psychic. Today I'm going to talk about the compatibility between a Sagittarius Capricorn Cusp and a Virgo. Woo! You both have trouble welcoming change in this relationship. But if you're the ones who start the change, then you're okay. It's okay. You both have the tendency to start your own pity party. And things can become unhealthy when you invite each other to attend it. So you kind of encourage each other's detrimental behavior. You may not realize it, but you may be encouraging each other's problematic tendencies. Like you enable each other. Your relationship is one big life lesson. You both are so different. And when this relationship is doing well, it's because you're both growing from your differences. Your love life becomes your education, literally. And don't underestimate the power of showing how much you care. It's really the little things that matter the most in this relationship. Without the little things, the relationship cannot and will not last. It can also help to share your woes with your loved ones or people outside of your relationship, you know. It can help you work on things and help give you a fresh perspective when things get tough. So find your allies and try to stay level-headed. Don't go off the emotional deep end, okay? Your Virgo may help with calming you down. While you both are opposites in so many ways, you still manage to present yourselves as a couple. And when it comes to decision making, you both are very in sync about it. And you often have a really similar perspective. And you both often find yourself very alone as a couple. And you kind of tend to pit your relationship against the world. Us against the world mentalities can be very powerful, but they automatically cause this distance between the world and you as a couple. It can alienate you. You're both there for each other, and that is still powerful. And it can get you through a lot, but is it enough? You both are opposites, and while it may be easy to make decisions, you know, like I said, you're pretty in sync there, and to think as a unit, eventually you may find that you just can't cooperate with each other. The relationship lacks that glue to really keep it together most of the time. Try to be more sensitive to your Virgo's feelings. Emotional intelligence is like a requirement for this couple to last. Stop freaking out so much. It's not doing your love life any favors. Don't let your personal bias impact your decision making. You have to act fairly. You may be the most laid back individual, but your Virgo will see you through a different lens. They will probably perceive you as someone who's more laid back or maybe more heroic than you actually are. They don't see what you see when you look in the mirror. They see someone way more brave and outgoing. Now, if you're really able to be a team, then things will go really well for you both. When you're with your Virgo, you might feel more introverted, even if they don't see it that way. You both are very timid, and this relationship does make that very clear. Now, Virgo might feel neglected, like you are too caught up in your projects and your career to actually pay attention to them. Power can really corrupt you, so don't get too carried away. Try to be more tolerant towards your Virgo. And don't freak out at them. Find a way to show them mercy. Do not let anxiety dictate how you respond. Respect the fact that you're both opposites and both very independent people. Your Virgo always has your back. You can count on them. You both have gone through some shit. You know exactly how cruel the world can be. Neither one of you are new to hard times. You both share that understanding and it connects you. You relate to them and it bonds you. in a way that you may not find in any other sign. This couple will always have this connection. And often that is what makes this relationship so conflicting. They can seem like your twin flame. Or you could simply see them as someone who gets you, but you see something in each other. You both know what life is capable of. Expect this relationship to be pretty difficult. It's not a straightforward path. Getting into meditation or yoga or some kind of spiritual practice can really help. In fact, it's crucial if you want to survive in the long term. And it's also important that you don't just focus on the relationship, but you also focus on yourself. Like, how are you evolving? Are you growing as a person? Don't forget about you. It's also important to be open about your emotions. Don't brush them off or lie to your Virgo about your feelings. Don't bottle them up. And don't be afraid to admit them to yourself. Sometimes it's not about showing them to your Virgo, it's about actually letting yourself be more open about your emotions. And being around a Virgo might make you feel more brave and more of a risk taker too, because they're more stable than you. And it may feel like you can be more adventurous than you usually are. Together you can really attract the things that you desire. And you both know how to hold on to those things. You don't give up easily. Romance between you and your Virgo can be very deep and passionate. Your Virgo has a practical mindset, and they can say things in a way that might come across as critical or that might seem provoking. You might get very offended by the things that they say, especially when you're in a certain frame of mind. Even when they're stating their opinion or an idea that would make sense, their remarks are not usually intended to be harmful, but sometimes you register them as negative. Being friends with each other can be awesome when you're trying to network or when you're trying to meet new people or change your social status. Together you make a fun pair that knows how to win over a crowd. But if your friendship falls apart, then so will everything else that you have accomplished as friends. Like, it won't hold together. It holds together as long as you keep standing with your Virgo friend. You can be there for your Virgo without dragging them down. You both have to be there for each other, but don't lean on each other so much, or you will feel like you're sinking. It may feel tempting to jump into this relationship and say, okay, well, we'll see what happens. But this relationship does not survive off of luck. It's not a gamble. It takes a real effort and intention, and it should be handled well. You can't just let life take over or it will go downhill. A Virgo will be more predictable than you. You know what to expect from them. And intimacy usually doesn't involve a grand romantic gesture. It's usually more down to earth. Privacy is very important for this couple. You both open up at your own leisure, and you must be careful not to pry into each other's lives, especially when you're dating. Don't ever check their phone without their permission. Don't break their trust. It will destroy your life with them. Never go behind their back. A common battle that this couple faces is that you're not as down to earth as your Virgo, and your Virgo isn't as idealistic as you, and this can cause problems. As friends, you're often part of a larger social circle. Your Virgo inspires you in a friendship. Stand up for what you believe in the relationship. Your Virgo might see you as more of a risk taker than you are. Be careful not to confuse love with power. If either one of you has experienced trauma as a child, this is going to start to reflect in your relationship, most likely. It may cause some unhealthy patterns to start, such as guilt trips or shaming or blame games. You're very emotionally sensitive to each other, which can be an awesome thing. Just beware of those patterns. the unhealthy patterns. Friendships themselves with a Virgo can be very up and down. The status of the friendship can change very often. Insecurities often arise during your relationship with a Virgo, which cause you both to want to show the world that you can make it one way or another. You need to be very open with your Virgo, and you need to tell each other when one of you notices that there is some unhealthy behavior going on. You need to point it out. You need to be like, look, this is a bad pattern. This is not good. This is not healthy. Like, you guys need to be able to notice those things and be aware. And to do that, you kind of need to help each other out and be like, hey, you're guilting me right now, or something like that, you know, to shed light on it. Because if not, you're just going to keep doing it, and it's kind of like going to destroy you. So if that's an issue for you, this is really important. You got to work together on it. If your Virgo is shaming you or guilt tripping you, you need to let them know what they are doing, because they probably don't even realize it. If either one of you acts condescending or blaming, you need to stop and like tell each other, so that you can learn to recognize when these are happening. And the first step is really just being aware of the problem and then working on those things. So this really goes both ways. It can happen to either one of you. How can they work on these behaviors if they don't even know they're doing them? Right? So you can't just like get mad at them. You have to like understand that this is trauma coming up, and this is something that is not cool. And it's unhealthy, and it's toxic, and it's stuff that needs to be addressed. So if not, you're just gonna go on and you'll down spiral. Whether you just started dating or you're married, you might find that you have a hard time feeling sympathy towards them. You don't fully get each other. Now, you might be dating and you might think so now, but you'll soon learn that your relationship is actually really difficult for you to fully comprehend. When you get married and you have kids, your home is like your kingdom, and your kids are kind of like your heirs. Your kingdom and your home is like your palace, basically. You're kind of like royalty. This is the way things seem. You should always strive to break bad habits and unhealthy patterns. Never let them go on. That is how you can make things work. Now, your personal philosophies and your moral codes will most likely be very different and can clash. Marriage usually works out better for this pair than casual dating or affairs or flings. Just be careful not to point fingers at each other when things get tough. The dynamic is intense, and there is so much passion here. You both gain so much knowledge from dating each other. You also learn what you like and what you don't like by dating a Virgo. This love that you share, it may feel very rigid, but it doesn't give up. You both keep a lot to yourselves, and you definitely have your secrets, but this also means that you know how to protect theirs. There will most likely be a lot of fighting to make things work. But it's definitely a unique dynamic that may make those rough moments worth it. You each are in it for yourselves, but when you're together, you focus your love on what matters. Now you both can isolate yourselves from the world, but you have each other. Yay! You may not fully get your Virgo, but you still learn a lot from them. Your love can be a little exaggerated, but at least you exaggerate together. You may find yourselves feeling like your roles are reversed, but it's definitely an experience that has its benefits. Yay! Okay, so if you are a Virgo or a Sagicorn, Sagittarius Capricorn Cusp, I would love to hear from you in the comments section below. Let me know what you think. Is this accurate? Is this total BS? Like, is this so off? I want to know. Yes, this relationship has its challenges, but it also has some awesome points to it. And it has its highs and lows, and it just really depends on the couple, you know? So I would love to hear from you, for real. Comment, like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Trying to keep it growing, keep it glowing. Yes, glowing. I don't know how yet, but I'll figure out how to make it glow. Bye.